Sue, you said do Pokemon Go. I would say play Pokemon Go. That's a small one. You said take a lot of pictures and draw the exact same. You kind of like left out a word right there. Either draw the exact same thing, or that's what I would say. Draw the exact same thing, or take a lot of pictures and draw them or draw something the exact same. I think the best would draw the exact same thing. And at the very end, you said never compare with others. You compare with, usually instead of with, we say to. Compare to. What I would say is never compare yourself to others. Never compare yourself to others. Compare yourself with others. To sounds better to me. And then Minjong, you said after then I am impressed. You were talking about seeing the movie. After that. You said you kept saying she had an unfortunate life. It's absolutely fine to say that. I think it sounds better just to say difficult life. We always say difficult life. She had such a difficult life growing up. It's just a phrase we use a lot. There's no mistake with saying unfortunate. You said Japan reject that. I would, again, if you say rejected, it's okay. But I would say Japan wouldn't allow that. Reject is more, kind of, you got rejected for the job, or there was some official form that got rejected because there was something like that. And then again, with the movie, you said one pressman proposed that she came back to Korea. Pressman. Reporter? Journalist? Boom, there you go. I don't think pressman is a word. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so. Soo-hyun, you said we are planning for that. And I wrote down planning to do. I forget the exact situation, but if you say we are planning for that, it sounds like there's a lot of work going into it. You're planning. Like you're making some actual plan. It sounds very like work related or business related. I think you were talking about something more simple.
Yeah.
Like we're planning to do that. Planning to go there. Yeah. I can have a chance to teach 1 month. You said the word can is not really the correct. I can have a chance. It's possible. You were talking about in the past. I would say I was able to have a chance. I had a chance. You can say I was able to have a chance. I was able to. I had a chance. You could combine them. It might be a little bit repetitive. And then you said that department really needs the mathematic base. Maybe you're forgetting. Maybe again you need to say that department really needs employees or people with a mathematic base, or even instead of base, maybe you could use the word background. That department is really really needs people with a mathematic background, with a strong mathematic background. Sunga, might be some people who could be interested in. I just emphasized the word could. Maybe just are. Yeah, there might be some people who are interested in instead of could. You said go to the long distance country. That doesn't sound right. Long distance country.
Long distance flight.
To go on a long distance flight, or go to a far away country. Go to a country on the other side of the world, or something like that. And you said we feel so exhausted easily. This was all. I wrote this all down from that story. We feel so exhausted easily. You get exhausted easily. Feel doesn't go with easily, really. You would either say I feel so exhausted, or I get exhausted so easily. And so if you say get, you're emphasizing to become, the becoming part. If you're just exhausted, I feel exhausted. say you said the house of my mother-in-law, just say my mother-in-law's house. This picture shows about, you're talking about the graph, this picture shows about, either this picture shows, know about, or, yeah, just say this picture shows, about is unnecessary in that instance. You can say this picture is talking about, even though pictures don't talk, we say like that. This article, this movie, this audio piece talks about, but you don't show about. Those two words don't go together. You said it is increased. Use increase as the verb. It increased. It increases. And then, I think this was you. Yeah. Under nervous situation. I would maybe say in a nervous situation. The word under usually goes with circumstances. Under difficult circumstances. Under strenuous circumstances. You could maybe say under nervous circumstances. I would just say in a nervous situation, or you could even when I'm nervous. In a nervous situation. Awkward situation. Sophia, this one again, very, very small, but it just sounded, you said working in a film industry. There's really just one film industry, the film industry, instead of a very small one. You said carrying the little kids. You either have to say caring for the little kids, but usually we say taking care of. I have to take care of my sick grandmother. I have to take care of the little children. To take care of. And then another small one. I find myself very not creative. Change it. Not very creative. Not very not. I find myself not very creative. And even saying I find myself, I would say I find that I'm not very creative. I find that I'm not very creative. It's okay. I find myself not very creative is okay. I would say I find that I'm not that creative, because find is kind of, you figured it out, I guess, over a long period of time, right? Or you could simply say I'm not creative. Any questions?
In what context do you usually say I find myself slow?
I find myself. I find that I'm not. I find that I am. I find, usually it's followed up with that. I find that he is. I find myself. Sometimes we say I find myself. The best example I can give is like, instead of using it we're using an adjective, right? I find that I'm not that creative. I find that I have difficulty, you can say like that, but I find myself is always, usually, not always, but probably going to be followed with a verb. I find myself drifting off to sleep in the middle of class. It's probably, I find myself losing motivation. I find myself losing motivation these days. My job sucks, blah, blah, blah. I find myself, meaning it's like it's not something that you really planned or thought was going to happen, but it's happening. But you can say, like she's saying with an adjective or something, I find that he's not that smart of a guy, or I find that I'm not that creative, you could say. Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you. So next week is Chuseok. No class, don't come here. Next week. 2 weeks from now. We can see you 2 weeks from now. But maybe you will be... Bye-bye. Good luck. Is Sue going with you? No. How sad.